Commander Alex Hudson adjusted his uniform one last time as the airlock hissed open. His palms were sweaty, but his face remained calm. Behind him, Ambassador Maria Sanchez took a deep breath. They were about to make history as the first humans to officially meet the Galactic Council. "Remember, we represent all of Earth today," Maria whispered. Alex nodded. "Let's see what these aliens really want." The chamber they entered was massive. A semicircle of 12 raised platforms held creatures of different shapes and sizes. Some looked almost human. Others were totally alien with multiple limbs, strange skin colors, or floating bodies. In the center sat High Chancellor Zextal. The tall, blue-skinned alien had 4 arms and eyes that glowed slightly. When he spoke, his voice was deep and seemed to come from everywhere at once. "We welcome Earth's representatives to Proxima Station. This meeting marks a historic day for your species." Maria stepped forward. "We are honored to be here, High Chancellor. Earth looks forward to peaceful relations with the Galactic Council." Zextal's mouth formed what might have been a smile. "Excellent. We have prepared a generous offer for humanity. As a developing species, you qualify for protected status under our treaties." A hologram appeared between them, showing complicated text and diagrams. "This treaty offers Earth advanced technology, medical knowledge, and protection from hostile forces," explained a small bird-like alien to Zextal's right. "In exchange, you agree to certain limitations on military development and expansion." Alex frowned. Something didn't feel right. What specific limitations? Several council members shifted uncomfortably. The large, rock-like being spoke up. "Standard restrictions. Fleet size limits. No colonizing beyond your home system without approval. Weapons technology caps. All very reasonable for species at your development stage." Maria smiled politely. "And how many protected species are there currently?" 27 active protectorates," answered Zextal. "All thriving under our guidance." Lieutenant Paul Garcia, Maria's aide, tapped discreetly on his tablet and showed her something. Her smile remained fixed, but her eyes hardened. "We're grateful for this generous offer," she said, "but such an important decision requires consultation with our leaders. We request time to review these terms." A ripple of whispers passed through the council. Zextal's glowing eyes narrowed slightly. "Of course. Take 3 of your Earth days. We can answer any questions during that time." After they were escorted to their quarters on the station, Alex turned to Maria. "What did Paul show you back there?" Maria's face was grim. "Hidden data about those protected species. They're basically servants. Their economies are controlled. Their militaries are jokes. They're completely dependent on the council." Paul nodded. "I accessed their public database. Some of these protected species have been developing for hundreds of years with no advancement." Alex looked out the viewport at the stars. "They're not offering protection. They're offering a cage. But why?" Maria wondered. "What does the council gain? Earth has resources, but nothing unique." "Maybe it's not what we have," Alex said slowly. "Maybe it's what we are." I saw how they watched us. There was something in their eyes, almost like fear, Paul finished. They seemed afraid. Maria turned to her tablet. "We need to stall while Earth prepares. Something tells me refusing this generous offer won't be taken kindly." Alex nodded. "I'll contact Admiral Johnson. Paul, keep digging into that database. There's a lot more to this council than they're showing us." Outside their window, the massive council ships drifted like predators, weapon systems barely hidden beneath elegant designs. The clock was ticking, and humanity's future hung in the balance of words on a treaty that promised protection but reeked of chains. Dr. Olivia Martinez hadn't slept in 36 hours. Her eyes burned as she stared at the treaty text on her screens. As Earth's top linguist and code specialist, she had been tasked with finding anything hidden in the Council's offer. And she had found plenty. "Admiral Johnson, you need to see this," she said, pointing to lines of strange symbols. These aren't decoration. They're a second layer of text, only visible when processed through their translation matrix. Admiral William Johnson leaned closer, his gray eyes narrowing. What does it say? It gives them rights to Earth's resources. It limits our technology growth. And worst of all, it allows them to relocate humans if our population grows too large. Olivia's voice shook slightly. This isn't a protection treaty. It's ownership papers. The Admiral straightened up. Get Frank Williams in here. I want his AI systems checking every bit of Council data we can access. 2 hours later, Frank's findings made the situation even clearer. His eye had analyzed records from 27 protected species across 500 years. None of them have advanced technologically since signing. Frank explained, showing charts on the main screen. Some have even regressed. Their populations are strictly controlled. They provide resources, labor, and occasionally soldiers for Council projects. Slaves, Johnson said flatly. They're offering to make us slaves. On Proxima Station, Maria and Alex continued their diplomatic dance. They asked detailed questions, requested clarifications, and insisted on consulting with Earth. Each delay made some Council members visibly nervous. During a brief recess, Alex was approached by a small gray alien who kept looking around nervously. "Human," the alien whispered. "I am Kranix, junior representative of the Volari. Meet me in Maintenance Corridor 6 when your sleep cycle begins. Come alone." Alex told Maria, who insisted on having Paul monitor the meeting from hiding. That night, Alex found the corridor and waited. Kranix appeared from the shadows. "Your species is in danger," Kranix said quickly. "The Council is not what it seems. It began as a true cooperative, but 3 dominant species took control centuries ago. They used the others as resources." "Why tell me this?" Alex asked. "You're risking a lot." Kranix's large eyes blinked rapidly. "Because humans are different. Your adaptability terrifies them. Most species specialize. They're either physically strong or intellectually advanced or technologically innovative. Humans are all of these. You adapt faster than any species they've encountered. So this protection treaty is to contain you before you become a threat. The Council has seen your historical records. In just a few centuries, you went from primitive flight to space exploration. This rate of advancement is unprecedented. Back on Earth, the Security Council gathered in an underground facility. Representatives from every major nation reviewed the evidence. "We vote unanimously to reject these terms," said the Council President. "But we must appear to negotiate in good faith to buy time." Johnson outlined their options. "We need to accelerate our military preparations, but keep them hidden. The moment the Council realizes we're refusing, they may take action." Olivia spoke up. "There's something else you should know. Based on Council records we've accessed, Earth isn't the first to be offered this deal. But I found references to 3 civilizations that refuse similar treaties." "What happened to them?" someone asked. Olivia's face was grim. "They no longer exist. No details on how they were destroyed, just that they were deemed unmanageable threats and addressed accordingly." The room fell silent as the truth sank in. Humanity faced a choice between submission and potential extinction. Johnson looked around at the determined faces. "Then we better make sure we're not so easy to address," he said. "Operation Prometheus begins now." 6 months had passed since the first meeting with the Council. On a small moon in a system far beyond Council scanning range, Colonel Samuel Wright watched his team set up another hidden outpost. This was the 12th such base, each one carefully masked from detection. "Status report," Samuel said into his comm unit. "Defense grid is online," replied his second-in-command. "The new stealth tech is working perfectly. Not even their advanced scanners can detect us here." Samuel nodded with satisfaction. Earth was playing a dangerous game. While Ambassador Maria continued diplomatic talks, buying time with endless questions and requests for clarification, humanity was secretly preparing for the worst. Back on Earth, in an underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, engineer Nicole Parker made final adjustments to her latest creation. The Prometheus protocol is ready for testing, she told Admiral Johnson, who watched from behind protective glass. If it works, it will mask our quantum signatures from Council detection systems. The Admiral's face was serious. And if it doesn't work? Nicole's hands were steady as she typed command codes. Then they'll know exactly where to find all our secret bases. A machine hummed to life. Data streamed across screens. Nicole held her breath as the system processed. Then, a green light flashed. It works, she said, her voice filled with relief. We're invisible to them now. On Proxima Station, Maria attended another council meeting. The High Chancellor seemed increasingly impatient. Ambassador, it has been 6 of your Earth months, Zextal said. Your leaders have requested 17 clarifications and 5 amendment proposals. One must wonder if Earth is negotiating in good faith. Maria smiled politely. Chancellor, this treaty will shape Earth's future for generations. We must be thorough. Just this week, our analysts had questions about Section 12, regarding technology transfers. Several council members exchanged glances, a tall, insect-like being leaned forward. Your regular progress reports have become vague, Ambassador. We expected details on your military drawdown as a show of good faith. We are still in the planning phase, Maria replied smoothly. Such major changes require careful consideration. After the meeting, Maria met with Alex in their secure room. They're getting suspicious, she said quietly. We might not be able to stall much longer. Alex nodded. Our last communication from Earth indicates we need 2 more months before basic preparations are complete. After that, we can start moving colonists through the hidden jump gates. Suddenly, there was a soft knock at their door. Paul opened it to find a nervous-looking reptilian alien. It was Vexilor, representative of one of the minor council species. I must speak quickly, Vexilor said, slipping inside. The militaristic faction of the council met privately yesterday. They are advocating for what they call preemptive pacification of Earth. What does that mean? Alex asked, though he already suspected the answer. It means they want to skip the treaty altogether and simply force Earth's submission with a show of military strength. Vexilor's scales rippled with anxiety. High Chancellor Zextal is still pushing for the diplomatic approach, but he's losing support. After Vexilor left, Maria contacted Earth immediately. We need to accelerate our timetable, she told Admiral Johnson. The Council is losing patience. Johnson's face on the secure screen looked grim. Understood. I'll inform all project leaders. Parker's Prometheus protocol is working. We'll deploy it to all outposts immediately. Samuel received the updated orders at his outpost. They're moving faster than we hoped, he told his team. We have weeks, not months, before they make their move. As stars glittered in the viewport, Samuel watched his soldiers prepare for a conflict humanity had never imagined facing. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had one advantage. The Council still didn't understand just how far humans would go to remain free. The Council's patience finally ran out. High Chancellor Zextal's 4 arms were folded across his chest as he addressed Maria and Alex. Earth has delayed long enough, he said, his voice cold. The Council has voted. You have 30 Earth days to sign the treaty, or there will be consequences. Maria kept her face calm, though her heart raced. I understand, Chancellor. I will inform Earth's leaders immediately. Back on Earth, the news was met with grim determination. The world's leaders gathered in the underground command center. We knew this day would come, Admiral Johnson said. Are we ready? Nicole nodded. The Prometheus protocol is active on all bases and ships. As far as the Council can tell, we're still just one planet with basic space capabilities. Operation Scattered Seeds. Johnson asked. 70% complete, Samuel reported via secure channel from his outpost. We've established 14 colonies and systems beyond Council space. Each one is self-sufficient and hidden. Johnson turned to the president. "Ma'am, we need to decide. Do we continue the charade or show our hand?" The president's eyes were hard. "We play along. Make it appear we're giving in. That might buy us the last time we need." The next day, Earth publicly announced its intention to sign the Council's treaty. News channels showed preparations for what they called a new era of galactic cooperation. Maria sent a message to Zextal. "Earth accepts the Council's terms. We request the honor of hosting the signing ceremony on our world to show our commitment." The Chancellor agreed, not suspecting the trap. Meanwhile, Dr. Kevin Lewis worked frantically in his lab. For months, he had studied Council technology from data smuggled by sympathetic aliens like Chronix and Vexlor. "I found something," he told Nickel over a secure line. "There's a fundamental flaw in their shield design. It's based on harmonic resonance, if we hit it with precisely the right frequency." "Their shields would collapse," Nickel finished, excitement in her voice. "How quickly can you build a prototype?" 2 weeks. Maybe less. As the deadline approached, Council ships began moving toward Earth in a show of force. But thanks to Nickel's protocol, they didn't detect the human ships hiding in asteroid fields or the defense platforms disguised as space debris. Maria and Alex returned to Earth to prepare for the signing ceremony. In private, they'd met with Earth's leaders. "The Council wants a big public event," Maria explained. "They want to show the galaxy how humanity submits." "Little do they know," Alex added with a grim smile. On the day before the ceremony, Olivia burst into Admiral Johnson's office. Her face was pale. "Sir, I've been analyzing historical Council records. I found evidence of 3 species that refused Council terms. But there's more." She handed him a tablet. They weren't just defeated. They were completely wiped out. Every planet, every colony. The Council calls it species retirement. Johnson's expression darkened. "So that's what awaits us if we truly defy them." Suddenly, alarms blared. Samuel's face appeared on the main screen, his image fuzzy from the distance. "Admiral, we're detecting massive fleet movements. The Council is activating restricted hyperspace lanes. They have an extermination fleet approaching Earth from the far side of the system." Johnson slammed his fist on the desk. "They were never going to honor the treaty. Even with our signature, they plan to occupy Earth." He turned to his officers. "Activate all defense systems, deploy the fleet, and get Maria on the line. It's time to show the Council that humanity won't bow quietly." As Earth prepared for battle, Council ships appeared in orbit, their weapons already charging. The charade was over. Now it was time for humanity to reveal just how badly the Council had underestimated them. The morning of the treaty signing arrived with a sky full of Council ships. Their massive forms blotted out the sun in many cities, casting long shadows across Earth. It was an obvious show of force. In the underground command center, Admiral Johnson watched the tactical displays with a grim expression. They positioned ships over every major city, classic invasion formation. Maria stood beside him, still dressed for the ceremony that would never happen. "They're not even trying to hide their intentions anymore." "Activate the Prometheus protocol," Johnson ordered. "Let's make our ships and defenses disappear from their scanners." Nickel typed commands into her console. "Protocol active. Sir, as far as they can tell, Earth is defenseless." On the main screen, a message appeared from Chronix. His gray face looked worried. "Humans, I've discovered something terrible. The Council has already dispatched an extermination fleet through restricted lanes. They plan to occupy Earth today and then destroy your colonies once located." Alex leaned forward. "What colonies? According to the treaty, we haven't established any." Chronix's eyes widened. "Then they've been tracking phantom signals. But the fleet is real. And it's coming. I'm sending their battle plans now." The transmission suddenly cut off with a burst of static. "They caught him," Maria whispered. "He sacrificed himself to warn us." Johnson turned to his communications officer. Is the global broadcast system ready? Yes, sir. We can reach every council ship and member world. Johnson nodded to Maria. It's your show now, Ambassador. Maria straightened her jacket and stepped before the camera. The red light came on, and her face appeared on screens across Earth and throughout council space. Citizens of the galaxy, I am Maria Sanchez of Earth. Today was meant to be a ceremony of peace. Instead, the Council has positioned an invasion force above our world, while an extermination fleet approaches from behind. She displayed the battle plans Chronix had sent. These are the Council's true intentions, not protection, but conquest, not partnership, but enslavement. On his command ship, High Chancellor Zextal roared in anger. Cut that transmission. Begin the occupation immediately. But it was too late. Maria's message spread across every world and ship in Council space. For months, the Council has lied not just to humanity, but to all species under their control. Maria continued. Today, Earth rejects their false treaties and their rule through fear. Council ships began moving into attack position, their weapons charged, ready to strike Earth's seemingly defenseless cities. At that moment, Admiral Johnson gave the order. Disengage the Prometheus Protocol. Show them what they're really facing. Nicole entered the command. Suddenly, Council scanners lit up with thousands of signals appearing out of nowhere. Hidden defense platforms emerged from camouflage in Earth orbit. Ships rose from ocean hiding places. Weapon emplacements appeared on the moon. In his outpost, Samuel watched the Council ships' formation break as they detected the suddenly appearing human defenses. They're confused, sir. Their formation is scattering. Zextal stared in disbelief at the tactical display. Impossible. Where did these defenses come from? Their technology shouldn't be this advanced. The Council's lead attack ship fired the first shot at a human orbital platform. The energy beam hit the shield Kevin had designed, dissipating harmlessly. Return fire, Johnson ordered calmly. Targeted strikes only. We're not the monsters here. Earth's defense grid activated. Precision beams lanced out, disabling the weapons on several Council ships without destroying them. In Council chambers across the galaxy, representatives of protected species watched Maria's broadcast with growing excitement. Some began to question their leaders openly. Others started organizing resistance. The peaceful signing ceremony had become the first battle in what would surely be a galactic conflict. But humanity had achieved the element of surprise, and for the first time in its long history, the Council faced an opponent it had severely underestimated. The battle above Earth raged for hours. Council ships fired powerful energy weapons, but many shots dissipated against the shields Kevin had designed. Earth's smaller, more agile ships darted between the massive Council vessels, targeting weapons and engines with surgical precision. In the command center, Admiral Johnson watched the tactical display with grim satisfaction. They expected to find an easy target. Instead, they found a hornet's nest. Nicole rushed in with new data. Sir, Kevin's shield-penetrating technology is working. Our weapons are getting through their defenses at specific frequencies. On the main screen, they watched as a squadron of Earth fighters disabled a Council cruiser's main weapons. The massive ship drifted, powerless but intact. We're not trying to destroy them, Johnson explained to the President. Just show them we can't be conquered. Space around Earth glowed with weapon fire. The Council had numbers and size on their side, but human ships moved with unexpected speed and coordination. Frank Williams monitored the battle from his I command station. The quantum relays are working perfectly. Our ships are coordinating faster than the Council can respond. In the Arcturus system, 50 light-years from Earth, Samuel led a strike team against the approaching extermination fleet. His ships had been waiting in ambush, hidden by the Prometheus Protocol. Enemy fleet detected, his tactical officer reported. 27 capital ships, heavy weapons signatures. Samuel's face hardened. This isn't an occupation force. These ships are designed to sterilize planets. He opened a channel to his fleet. Remember your training. Hit their shield generators with the frequencies Dr. Lewis provided. Disable. Don't destroy unless absolutely necessary. Samuel's ships launched their surprise attack. The Council extermination fleet, caught completely off guard, struggled to respond. Human vessels targeted specific weak points in Council shields, just as Kevin had discovered. Back on Earth, Maria received an urgent communication. It came from Vexlor, the reptilian council member who had warned them earlier. Ambassador, several protected species have begun uprisings across Council space, he said, his voice excited. Your broadcast reached them. They've seen that resistance is possible. Maria shared this news with Johnson and the President. This is spreading beyond just our conflict. It's becoming a galactic revolution. On his command ship, High Chancellor Zextal struggled to maintain control. Reports flooded in from across Council space, rebellions, protests, and even 3 mid-tier Council species declaring independence. How is this happening? He demanded of his advisors. They're just humans, a primitive species. His chief military advisor's expression was grim. We severely underestimated them, Chancellor. Their adaptability allows for innovation at rates we've never seen. They've achieved in months what should have taken decades. In Samuel's battle, the tide was turning. The extermination fleet's formation had broken. Several Council ships were disabled, drifting helplessly in space. Sir, his communications officer called out, we're receiving surrender signals from 5 enemy vessels. Samuel allowed himself a small smile. Accept their surrender. Secure the ships and treat any prisoners with respect. Near Earth, a Council battleship exploded despite Johnson's orders for restraint. The blast damaged nearby human vessels. What happened? Johnson demanded. They self-destructed, sir, Frank reported, rather than be captured. The battle continued, but with each passing hour, more Council ships retreated or surrendered. The easy victory they had expected had turned into a humiliating defeat. Maria prepared another broadcast to the galaxy. This isn't just Earth's fight anymore, she told Johnson. We need to reach out to the other species who want freedom. As the Council fleet began to withdraw from Earth orbit, signals came in from across the galaxy. Other subjugated worlds were rising up, inspired by humanity's resistance. What had begun as Earth's desperate stand for survival was becoming something much bigger. A fight for freedom that would reshape the galactic order. 2 weeks after the Battle of Earth, Maria stood in a room filled with representatives from 17 different species. Some looked almost human, while others were completely alien in form. But all shared one thing, a desire for freedom from Council control. Welcome to the first meeting of the Alliance of the Free, Maria said, looking at each delegate in turn. Earth stands with all who wish to determine their own future. A tall, blue-skinned being stepped forward. I am Drell Khan of the Novari. For 3 centuries, our people have lived under Council protection. Today, we offer our knowledge of Council defense systems in exchange for membership in this alliance. Similar offers came from other representatives. 3 mid-tier Council species had defected completely, bringing crucial intelligence about Council weaknesses and strategies. On a secure channel from his ship, Samuel reported to Admiral Johnson. The news from the colonies is good, sir. All 17 are operational and ready to serve as Alliance bases. Johnson nodded. The Council still doesn't know how many colonies we've established or where they are. That advantage won't last forever. There's more, Samuel continued. Our intelligence teams found something interesting in the captured Council ships. They were terrified of our adaptation speed. Their reports specifically mentioned our genetic flexibility and dangerous innovation rate. Frank Williams joined the conversation. My AI systems have been analyzing Council communications we intercepted. They'd been monitoring human history for centuries. What scared them most wasn't our weapons. It was how quickly we advanced from primitive technology to space travel. In the Alliance meeting room, an insect-like being played a recording. This is a message from the protected worlds in the Orion sector. We have overthrown our council overseers. We request membership in the Alliance and offer our manufacturing facilities. Similar messages arrived hourly. What had begun as Earth's desperate defense had sparked a galactic revolution. Species that had been subjugated for centuries saw hope for the first time. Olivia rushed into Johnson's office with eyes wide. "Admiral, I've decoded the location of the Council's restricted weapons cache. It's in the Ta CD system, hidden in an artificial moon." Johnson immediately contacted Samuel. "We need those weapons, not to use them, but to make sure the Council can't use them against the Alliance." Samuel assembled a strike team from multiple species. Human ships provided the shield-penetrating technology, while Novari specialists helped bypass Council security systems. Together, they launched a daring raid on the weapons cache. Council defenders fought desperately, but they were confused and disorganized. The unified Alliance forces moved with precision and purpose. "We've secured the facility," Samuel reported hours later. "You won't believe what we found. Planet-killing weapons, van technology, even biological agents designed to target specific species." Back in Council space, their unity was crumbling. High Chancellor Zextal faced angry accusations from other Council members. "You assured us humans were primitive," shouted a rock-like being. "Now half our protected worlds are in open rebellion." Another member stood. "My world is withdrawing from the Council. We're joining the Alliance." One by one, Council members chose sides. Some joined the growing Alliance. Others doubled down on their commitment to the old order. The mighty Galactic Council, which had ruled for thousands of years, was splintering before their eyes. Maria received the news with mixed emotions. "We never wanted a war," she told Alex. "We just wanted to be free." Alex nodded. "Sometimes freedom has a high price. But look at what's happening. Species that have been enslaved for centuries are standing up. Whatever comes next, the galaxy will never be the same." As more worlds declared for the Alliance, the Council prepared its remaining forces for a final, desperate battle. The conflict was approaching its climax, and the future of the galaxy hung in the balance. The final battle took place in the Arcturus system. The remaining loyal Council forces had gathered their fleet. Over 200 ships, including their most powerful dreadnoughts. They faced the combined Alliance fleet, a mix of human vessels and ships from 24 formerly subjugated species. Admiral Johnson stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship. "All ships report ready, sir," his communications officer said. Johnson nodded. "Open a channel to the Council fleet." On the main screen appeared High Chancellor Zextal, his blue skin pale with stress. "This rebellion ends today, human. You may have surprised us before, but you face the full might of the Council now." Johnson's voice was calm. "Chancellor, we don't want to destroy you. Surrender and help us build a new galactic order based on cooperation, not control." "Never," Zextal spat. "We have maintained peace for thousands of years. Without our rule, the galaxy will descend into chaos." The channel closed. Johnson sighed. "All ships, defensive positions. Remember our strategy. Disable, don't destroy unless absolutely necessary." The battle began with a massive volley from the Council ships. But the Alliance vessels were ready, using Kevin's shield technology to weather the assault. Then they struck back, targeting engines and weapons systems with precise hits. Samuel led a strike team of smaller ships that darted between the massive Council vessels. "Focus on their command ships," he ordered. "Cut off their ability to coordinate." The battle was fierce. Several Alliance ships were destroyed, their crews lost to the void of space. But the Council forces were fighting a new kind of enemy, one that adapted quickly to their tactics. Nicole monitored the battle from Earth's command center. "Our quantum communication system is giving us a huge advantage," she told Olivia. "Our ships are coordinating faster than they can respond." Frank's AI systems had infiltrated the Council's battle network. "I'm feeding them false targeting data," he reported. "Half their shots are missing by wide margins." After hours of intense fighting, the Council formation began to break. Ships started surrendering one by one as their weapons and engines failed. On the Council command ship, Zextal watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet was systematically disabled. When a direct hit destroyed his ship's engines, he knew it was over. This is impossible," he whispered as human boarding craft approached his crippled vessel. 1 month later, representatives from over 50 species gathered in the former council chambers on Galaxis Prime. The Grand Room, once symbol of the Council's power, now hosted the birth of something new. Maria stood at the central podium, with Alex and Samuel beside her. Before them sat delegates from former Council worlds, protected species, and independent systems that had joined the Alliance. "Today marks a new beginning," Maria said. "The Galactic Confederation is founded not on control, but on cooperation. Not on fear, but on mutual respect." She gestured to the human team that had been central to the revolution. "Earth never wanted to conquer. We simply refused to bow when faced with extinction. Now we offer our technology freely to all Confederation members." Alex stepped forward. "The old treaty system is hereby dissolved. In its place, we establish the rights of sentient species, guaranteeing each world the right to self-determination." Former High Chancellor Zextal was brought in to face representatives of species his council had oppressed. He looked smaller somehow, his once proud bearing gone. "The age of the Council is over," Samuel declared. "But we don't seek revenge. We seek justice and a new path forward." On the distant colony world of New Earth, Nichols stood with Kevin watching a beautiful alien sunset. Construction crews from 5 different species worked together building a research center. "Do you think it will last?" Kevin asked. "This peace?" Nichols smiled. "The Council ruled through fear for thousands of years. We're trying something different, ruling through cooperation. It won't be easy, but I think we've proven that when species work together, amazing things are possible." Above them, ships from dozens of worlds moved peacefully through space, no longer divided into rulers and ruled, but united as equals in a galaxy forever changed by humanity's simple refusal to bow.